Hey Falcon fans, I'm Thomas Mott. Welcome to Atlanta Falcons Today. We're going to get into our training camp week 1 winners and losers. Give you a couple players who have been really impressive based on reports up at Flowery Branch, and some players who have not. First though, make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel. Can we get to 8,000 subs here on Atlanta Falcons Today? We try to give you guys the latest and greatest Falcons news and rumors, because I was watching SportsCenter yesterday and they did a live check-in with the Atlanta Falcons and it was like a minute and they were gone, right? So we try to give you guys non-stop 10 minutes plus a day regarding everything happening with your Falcons. If you like that, go down below and subscribe. Alright, so as mentioned at the top of today's video, we're going to get into our Atlanta Falcons early camp winners and losers. Emphasis on early, because the pads, they just came on just the other day. That's going to kind of throw a wrench into things. You know, players who are good without pads might not be as good with pads, and vice versa. And so even though these are the early winners and these are the early losers, don't take it all with a grain of salt. Just know that things can change because training camp is very, very long and not just 1 week, right? So there's your little disclaimer to start today's video. Let's start with an early winner who has been probably the biggest winner overall of the entire Falcons training camp so far, and that is Kyle Pitts. He looks absolutely unguardable. I mean, some of the camp videos they're showing on the Falcons Twitter, some of the beat writers up there, he's beating everybody. It does not matter if you're a linebacker, if you're a safety, if you're a cornerback, you're losing to Kyle Pitts. And Kyle Pitts, we all know, was great last year. Even though he had the 1 touchdown against the Jets, that was kind of the one knock on him. It was not as many touchdowns as you would have liked, but almost broke Mike Ditka's rookie receiving record for tight ends. He was fantastic, right? Year 2 should be leagues better. Pitts is gearing up for a monster year. I think he's going to be a top 5 fantasy tight end. Could be even better, and I see him being the #1 target on this football team, even with the fact that defenses are going to focus on him, right? He's going to face a lot of double teams, and that's just, you know, a part of being the best weapon on the Falcons offense. But I think the addition of Drake London, the addition, or obviously Cordell Patterson in year 2 is going to help out a little bit. But you want to talk about an early camp winner, Pitts looks the entire part, and I think you're going to get the more unicorn freak you were hoping for year 1. Big time improvement here in year 2. Okay, who has been the biggest camp winner so far? What do you guys think? What have you been hearing? What have you been reading? Who's been the biggest camp winner so far? Let me know who that is down below during the ad break and the pinned comment. All right, another early camp winner, and this is very good news for all Falcon fans, Marcus Mariota. He has been really, really good. Now, I'm not saying Desmond Ridder has been bad, more on him in a second, but Mariota clearly has grabbed the starting job by the horns. He looks extremely comfortable, and even though he's not as young as he once was in the early years of Tennessee, where he was extremely mobile, he still is very, very mobile. I've said it before here on the channel. I think Mariota is going to show you just how unmobile Matt Ryan was, and I'm not anything against Matt Ryan, but I do think that having some more mobility with this offensive line in front of you is a good thing. I think Mariota is going to make a lot of plays with his legs. He's going to add a little bit of a dynamic there in the zone read game, and he's so far during camp has been accurate. He's had a good deep ball, and he's really been the leader. And I think the young players and even the veterans on this football team have gravitated to him as the leader of this club. And I think you're going to see a very impressive Marcus Mariota trying to go for the career renaissance with the Atlanta Falcons. Now, that's not to say Ridder's been bad, and I'll touch on Ridder here just briefly. He's not been bad, but he's been a rookie quarterback. And rookie quarterbacks have growing pains, especially early on in training camp. We'll see how he does now that the pads are on, so maybe it changes in terms of being better or worse, but it is worth noting that in terms of the quarterback competition, it's not much of a competition right now. Mariota is beating out Ridder and will be the starter week 1. I mean, you can bet your bottom dollar on that, barring a massive setback or the fact that Ridder balls out in preseason, but even then it would be preseason with the 2s against the 2s, and so not much to go off of there. You guys do think that Mariota will win the starting job, right? I think he 100% will win the starting job. If you agree with me, type Y down below for yes. If you disagree with me, go ahead and type N down below for no. I'll still be shocked if he loses. He should definitely win this job. All right, final winner here, and we'll get into our losers. This is another good one. Richie Grant, the safety. You talk about one of the biggest disappointments of the entire Falcons 2021 season was Richie Grant, right? Second-round draft pick. The injuries were an issue. He got COVID. He just never really performed at a level that you thought he would and barely got on the football field. It's like, is this guy going to be a massive draft bust? A second-round draft pick? Well, much like Kyle Pitts, in year 2, he's greatly improved. And I think he's going to be a starter on this Falcons safety depth chart. And I think that is fantastic news for Falcon fans. The best way to speed up a rebuild, which Atlanta is undoubtedly in, is to hit on your early draft picks. And they hit on Kyle Pitts last year. If you can hit on Richie Grant to get him to play well this year, you're going to be moving a lot faster in terms of your rebuild. You can shave years off a rebuild if your draft picks are able to hit. So this is great news for Falcon fans too. He's been mixing in with the starters. He's been playing a bunch. I think he has a real chance to really showcase what he has, especially during the preseason where we expect him to play quite a lot in the coming days and weeks. All right, we're going to get into our Falcons early camp losers here in just one second. First, the Falcons Polo 2-pack is back available, and it's 40% off. They're begging for you guys to buy this stuff. I mean, come on, 40% off essentially is buy one, get one free. A little bit less so, or more so, whatever you want to call it. But still, a great price right here. Chatsports.com/Falcons Polo. It's the link that you need, and the shirt that you need. It's on your screen right now, and down below in the description box. Pick up your Falcons 2-pack Polo right now, and rep it on the golf course, rep it at the workplace, or just rep it at the family weekend barbecue and show your Falcons pride. That link is also, as I mentioned, down below in the description box. Takes you right to the page and the 40% off discount. All right, with winners, there come losers. And there are people who are struggling at training camp so far. And the first one is not necessarily someone who's struggling on the football field, but someone who's seemingly gone in Atlanta, and it's Deion Jones. Now, Jones has not practiced yet. We all know that. And so, how can you make him be a loser on today's video? Well, there's a new report coming out that the Falcons are actively trying to trade him, but no one wants to go ahead and trade for Deion Jones. So he is massively losing out on the potential to be traded to a good football team, a team that's one linebacker away. I think we are heading towards a split in the form of a cut. I think he's going to eventually be cut, and I think a big part of that is the fact that Trey Anderson has been really, really good. And so Jones, not that he was really had a chance to win by not being on the football field, but the fact that they now are for sure actively trying to trade him and no one's wanting to make that trade yet is bad news for Deion Jones. I think he's going to eventually be cut and then could sign for a veteran, minimum at some point before the start of the NFL season. But you got to find a team that needs a linebacker. That's a problem right now, as a lot of the holes are filled for different rosters. What do you guys think? Should the Falcons keep or trade Deion Jones? Type T down below for trade, or type K down below for keep. I'm all for trading him. Like, trade him right now. Trust me, trade him right now. But I just don't think a team's out there. So I'll type T, but I'll see what you guys think in the comments section. While you're down there, find the red subscribe button. We're close to 8,000 subs here on the channel, which is fantastic. We're really growing on Atlanta Falcons today, trying to give you guys the latest and greatest Falcons coverage that only a channel like this can provide. I mean, we only do the Falcons, right? How many channels are solely based on the Falcons, and no national media stuff is ever just based on the Falcons? They got to have a little bit of this and a little bit of that. When we go live to Jaguar camp, we look at Tom Brady. Like, let's talk only Falcons here on the channel. If you guys appreciate that, go down below and subscribe. Okay, another early camp loser is Frank Darby. For everybody who thought he would be the steal of the draft last year, and maybe, well, he didn't play well last year, what about year two? He's still not looked the part. I think Frank Darby very much could be cut if he continues to be unimpressive in the coming practices and really the preseason games. If him and Ritter, for instance, don't connect well in terms of preseason game 1, 2, and 3, I think there's a very real chance that Darby could be cut. There are just other receivers who are playing a little bit better. I know Bryan Edwards has missed a couple of practices, but you have Auden Tate, you have John Allison. They have a lot of guys right now who I think are going to steal a lot of those snaps and have been so far at training camp, and Darby continues to just not look. He just doesn't look NFL ready, and I think that that's a miss in terms of a draft pick. Even though it was a later round draft pick, it still counts as a miss. Next camp loser, and we'll go ahead and end on this one, 3 for each. Jalen Mayfield. Mayfield has lost his left guard starting job completely. I mean, he has not been a starting left guard at all so far during training camp. He's mixed in a little bit, but it's been Elijah Wilkinson who's taken over that spot, and that's bad news for Mayfield, but should be good news for Atlanta Falcons fans. And now we want Mayfield to grow. We want him to get better. We know he was thrust into an uncomfortable and unfortunate situation, during his first year, and that was last year as a rookie, playing an unfamiliar position, getting wrecked every single game. His PFF grade was terrible, but you would hope he could have improved a little bit early on, but looks like they're going to go with the veteran to be the starting left guard, which maybe will be good for Mayfield in the long run, as he can take a little bit of time off in terms of not having to be a starter every single week. He can learn behind a veteran and hopefully in the future regain that starting job maybe in year 3. Okay, quickly, let's just go ahead and give a recap of our winners and losers so far. We will update this video maybe week to week as we continue to go through here and ride through training camp on Atlanta Falcons today. Pitts, Mariota, Grant. Those are your 3 big winners so far during Falcons training camp. There are others. Drake London, for instance, has been really good, but those are my 3 big winners here on the channel. The losers, I think Deion Jones is going to be cut. That's bad news for him that no one wants to trade for him. And you got Darby, the wide receiver, who is very much going to be cut if he doesn't pick things up. It's still early, but he's got a long way to go. And finally, Jalen Mayfield, who technically is a loser because he's going to lose his starting job most likely, but maybe in the long run this could be a good thing for him as he tries to just figure out how to be a starting offensive lineman in the National Football League. It's harder to do than you realize, because in college you're playing against, maybe defensive linemen that won't ever be in the NFL, whereas in the NFL you're playing NFL offensive or defensive linemen every single day. I will end on this. How excited are you for the first preseason game Hall of Fame game is tomorrow, Jaguars and Raiders, and then the Falcons will kick off the week after, so we're about a week away, a little bit over a week away. Scale 1 to 100. How excited are you guys? I am super pumped for this. I am very close to being a 100. I think preseason, I don't know, it just gets things rolling. And when you cover the team, you want to see how those backup guys do, and we'll break it all down on the channel as well, so stay tuned for that. All right, ultimate for today on our Atlanta Falcons news and rumor video. I'm your host, Thomas Mott, for the channel, signing off to the rest of your day.